As more companies look to use artificial intelligence to improve their business performance, the underlying tools that are needed to build those solutions are becoming increasingly important. CL, how does InfuseAI help companies bring machine learning models to market?
Making machine learning work into production is actually involving several steps, from collecting data, cleaning the data, building the model, validating the model that works, and then putting it into production and monitoring that actually works, and then creating the feedback loop about like what actually worked and what didn't. So we are creating tools that make those steps kind of connect better together, because each step, there are some existing tool already, but it's kind of hard to put it into like one piece to make it work in a project in a scalable way.
To make the workflow easier, you're creating tools that kind of bring it all together.
Yes.
Is there an example of a best use case you've seen in the market so far for InfuseAI?
So we do have a customer that's a medical center in Taiwan. So their AI team was tasked with a question like, how is the ER room going to look like tomorrow during COVID, right? So that is actually, to answer that simple question, is actually multiple artificial intelligence model involved, because you need to have the condition for each patient that's currently in ER and predicting the fatality or recovery rate and so on. And then actually each condition may have its own artificial intelligence model. So we're talking about answering that question. For human, it's actually a lot of computation, but for AI, it's actually a various different computation of every patient. To answer that question, all these answers need to be put together, right? And then once we want to improve those models, for example, for pneumonia, how is it going to develop for this particular patient? You need to constantly update this model with new data you learned and the new results you observed. So without using a proper tool, like the hospital used to have to spend like 5 to 6 days just to update a particular model. So imagine,
to analyze the outcome.
Yeah, so to update the model to make better prediction in the future. So imagine that there are actually maybe almost 10 models to answer that question.
Right.
And each model requires a lot of effort into maintaining it. So we're creating the tool that automating the data model insight loop.
In that example, have you been able to demonstrate improved outcomes for patients already, or what has been the result so far?
Like any AI project, the answer, if the result is better, it actually really depends, right? So if we're actually seeing if the accuracy is better, it's definitely better. But are the patients being cared for in a better way? That's another story, right? So I think they definitely improve the prediction of what they want to achieve, like what's the ER gonna like.
So you're providing the data, but then what you're saying is the outcome of the care obviously then is dependent on the care being effectualized.
Yes, yeah.
CL, in the context of a manufacturing environment, how does InfuseAI help with things like defect detection and prediction?
Okay, so the manufacturer has to maintain a database of defects samples, right, for a particular kind of manufacturing. But the problem is that when they create a new production line, it's sometimes a very different story. So now you need to maintain that. And then to be able to scale that, you need a tool to maintain multiple production lines, a defect database. So that's where the new tooling is going to help, like connecting the existing tool with like faster iteration and so on.
What type of expertise does a customer need to effectively deploy the InfuseAI tools?
So our tool is mainly making data scientists productive. And then also the people surrounding the data scientists, like the data engineer and the machine learning engineers, and also the business side, because they are defining the business problem that's to be solved by AI. Providing the tool, making all these people work together in a better way, and then so they can scale, they can tackle more problems at the same time. For example, one of our clients in the banking business, they were able to launch like 30 projects at a time where they have a proper team structure and then tooling supporting that scale of the AI investment.
And so with the market moving as fast as it is, where do you see InfuseAI in 5 or 10 years?
Really comes down to my personal mission about making collaboration impactful for different types of organizations. I want to see a majority of the actual impactful predictions that are built with AI technology are powered by the InfuseAI system.